Hi everyone, and welcome to another speed build. Today I'm sharing a family home that is all decorated for fall because it is October here, which means that it is officially fall. I know fall really begins sometimes towards the end of September, but it never really fully registers with me that the seasons are changing until October rolls around. So I've been getting into that cozy fall kind of a mood, and I just really want to build a house here in this game where you can see the leaves changing and piling up on the ground, and you have pumpkins and other fall decorations around. So I'm building this more colonial style house. I want to do something else kind of suburban, but I didn't want to make your typical development McMansion type suburban home because I did make a house decorated for Halloween last year that wasn't that style, so I didn't want this to be too close to that. And rather than it being decorated in spooky stuff specifically for Halloween, I was going for more of a general fall kind of a look. So while I do end up having pumpkins around around the outside and inside the house, there aren't any ghosts or spider webs or candy bowls or anything like that. It's mostly just the pumpkins and the leaves and stuff that's more so just generally autumn and fall like. But I definitely do want to do a build that's a little bit more on the spooky side, but I don't really know what to do exactly, so if any of you have any ideas, please let me know. I know I could do some kind of witch-like some kind of witch-like build because we did just get Gremlin magic, so maybe that's an idea. Maybe a vampire witch couple or vampire spellcaster couple kind of a build. That might be a fun idea. So let me know what ideas you all have, and I might actually be able to do a couple of builds depending on how things go. We'll see. But then again, maybe one's enough because I don't want to overdo things. Like, I don't want to go too over the top with Halloween or overdo it too much. So yeah, we'll just have to see what happens. But anyway, at this point, the structure of the house is mostly built. I'm just trying to figure out the wallpaper. So I went with more of a red brick colonial kind of a look, and then we just got some siding on the additions because my idea was that the rectangle in the center is the original house, and then over the years this house was added onto, so there is a sunroom addition on the back of it, and then that addition to the left of it is supposed to be more of a master suite, kind of like the house had one bedroom, or it had one bathroom originally and 3 bedrooms, and they wanted to have something a little bit more luxurious for their master suite, so they just decided to go ahead and add something onto the house that was a little bit more to their taste. So right now I'm just going through and figuring out that floor plan. I did have to make the house slightly bigger because I stuck the staircase in and then realized that there wasn't really enough space to make some of the rooms the right size. So pulling everything forward, an extra tile did do the trick to fix that. And I also used the U-shaped staircase there because it just fit into the space a little bit better. So because of that reason, like, the new staircases that we got definitely help out so much because it would have been a lot harder to figure out the floor plan if I had to have used just the regular straight staircase, because I would have made the kitchen a little bit of a weird shape, would have cut into that space some, but because of the U-shaped staircase, I was able to neatly fit the staircase into this 2x5 tile space. I mean, it does look kind of odd, it doesn't really have a grand entrance kind of a look, but for what we're working with here, it definitely made the floor plan a little bit easier to figure out. So yeah, once again, I know I've said this before, but I'm so happy that they added the other kinds of staircases in because it just makes figuring out floor plans and kind of like customizing things a little bit so much easier, and just adds so much variety to the kinds of houses that you can make. Because there's been so many times where I found really cool floor plans, but they had a U-shaped staircase or an L-shaped staircase, and it would have been really difficult to try to replicate that, but now we can, so that is really, really helpful. But at this point, the floor plan is mostly figured out. I'm just trying to work out where to put the windows in because we do have that deck above the carport, and I was going to have both those bedrooms have a sliding glass door onto it, but I decided to just have the one have a door onto it just because I didn't want the other bedroom to have no windows and then just a door. And the way I see it, that was the bedroom that has that door onto the deck was originally the master bedroom. But, they of course built the new master bedroom, and then that became their teenage child's bedroom. So yeah, that's what that ends up being furnished as. So we've got a teen bedroom, a child bedroom, and a toddler bedroom in this house. We kind of got all the age groups incorporated. And you might have just seen there where I did add a little bit onto the master suite because I was trying to figure it out, and I realized a bathroom wasn't really fitting very well into the space. It's kind of cutting it into a bit. So it worked a bit better to just add another room onto that and have that be the bathroom so I could have something a little bit bigger, a little bit nicer, and not make the layout of the bedroom feel so odd. And something I do really like about the back of the house is that you got kind of this observation deck that's on the second level. So I did get the inspiration to do that from a picture I was looking at of New England colonial homes, and I just thought that'd be something kind of neat to make the back of the house look a little bit different than usual, because I was trying to do some different things with this house. And yeah, I was trying to go for more of a specifically New England colonial look for this house because it was built in Brindleton Bay. But I'm not really sure if it ended up being that exactly, because I was going to use the fences that came with cats and dogs to add that nautical feel to it. But they didn't look quite right, but hopefully there is a little bit of that New England influence coming through in this house. And I think that observation, I don't know if observation deck is the right word for that, but that second level deck, hopefully kind of gives it a little bit of that feel. I know in more coastal areas, they tend to have those decks that are more on the roof level so that you can watch the boats coming in. Even though this isn't on the coast at all, I definitely think that is what helps to give it that flavor. But currently I am landscaping the front yard here, and I used a lot of plants that were from the debug menu, and I was trying to go for plants that were a little bit darker and came in more fall-like colors, such as oranges and reds and whites and a little bit of yellow thrown in, and I think it just looks really nice. And there are those two bushes, you can see them here, that I did find through the debug menu that I just really like. Like, I have been wanting bushes like that for so long, because a lot of the ones that we have in the game are pretty manicured. Like, there is that one kind of bushy green, why am I saying bushy green bush? I mean, it's a bush, so it's gonna be bushy, but there's that one circular green bush that looks very manicured, and I don't always want that. Like, sometimes I want something that looks a little bit more unkempt. I've also just been wanting more variety, so those plants just help so much, and they look so good with what I was going for this build. Like, I just really like that darker one in particular. And here is where I'm going through and adding all the fall type decorations. So we got some pumpkins on the ground there. We got another one next to the mailbox here. And then I also took some more pumpkins and raised them up along the staircase, because I was looking at pictures of homes that are decorated for fall for inspiration. And that is something that I saw in quite a few of them, and I thought that was just absolutely adorable. Hopefully it doesn't get in the way of Sims being able to get up there. I don't think it does, because in the past I have done that with builds and it was fine. Sims are still able to get up them. So hopefully that is still the case. I do need to test that, and I definitely am going to play test this house a bit, because there are some other things in it that I'm concerned about. I also did put those streamers that came with seasons up kind of around the front porch area there. I thought that would be something to add a little bit more pizzazz. I didn't end up using any lights from the decoration box on it. Maybe I will, because I did put it in the house, so maybe when I do the fly-through, I'll put those up. It depends, I don't know, because sometimes I feel like when you put all those decorations up, it's kind of like overdone a little bit, but it might look nice to put some string lights up, so I'll try that out and see how it looks. Oh, and I also stuck a rake there in that carport area, because, you got all these leaves falling, so you gotta have a rake to get that up. I thought that was a really nice decoration just to add some realistic detail to this yard. But we're on to the back of the house now, so I'm just continuing the same kind of landscaping around back here. We've got a pool as well. We definitely have to have that with this very nice large backyard, and this is probably one of my favorite backyards that I've done. I just really like how it looks. I like the multi-level deck. I like how it kind of has this more elegant look to it, because I definitely imagine the family who lives in this house as being a little bit more well off, because they got a pretty big house, they got a nice pool back here, and I really like the elegant look that this house has. Like, I really like how those kind of Greek-esque columns look. I don't normally use those, but they just work so well with this house. And then over here, I wanted to have some stepping stools going from the gate over to the pool. Or did I say stepping stools? I meant stepping stones. Anyway, I was going to use that one rug originally, but I really like these. Then I remember we had these, but I really like these because they have a bit more variety. You got 3 to choose from, and they just look so nice and realistic to use as stepping stones. So that is another item I'm really glad we got through the debug cheat. And then I also found this tree in there, and this is one of the trees that you find in the environment around Brindleton Bay that I don't believe we have in the build catalog at all, so that definitely helped a little bit more with adding some variety to the trees that I use. and also having this kind of blend in with the world around it, and we just kind of filled that in with these same plants, of course. And then we got a slide out there for the toddler, and then I found these leaf piles just in, I think, yeah, this was actually in the outdoor activities catalog. Like, they just show up when you have the debug sheet entered, but I thought those would definitely be good to add around, you know, like they're, of course, raking up the leaves that have already fallen, and they're just in a nice, neat pile, and it just really added to the whole fall atmosphere that this house has. And I did, of course, like you probably already figured this out, but I did, of course, build this actually in the fall weather, because normally I, of course, just go and build from, like, I hit the build option from Manage Worlds, which does disable all weather effects. So it was really nice to build with the leaves changing and the different lighting and the ground being a little bit less vibrant and the grass looking more dead. I definitely have to do this more because I can't even remember the last time I built like this. Maybe it was around Christmas time when I did my Christmas house. Yeah, I think that was actually the last time I did this, so I definitely have got to do this more. So if I do a Halloween type build, like a more spooky type build, I will definitely build it like this. And then, you know, as we get into winter, I'll probably do some more builds in the snow. I do find the seasons really fun to build in. And up on that deck there, I put a hot tub, which, I mean, realistically, you probably don't want to do because that might cause a deck to fall through because hot tubs are awfully heavy. Or, I don't know, you could probably brace enough, that's fine. Doesn't matter, but I thought that was kind of a neat spot to have a hot tub, you know, because you can just go up there and you've got a nice view of trees, I guess, from here. I don't really remember exactly what was around this house, but either way, you get a really nice view, and I would love to have a deck like that where you just get a gorgeous view while you're soaking in the hot tub. It would be kind of nice to have a hot tub someday, although I'm sure it's pretty hard to maintain and it gets old after a while. But anyway, we are working on the pool right now, just changing the tile color to be brown because I was definitely, like, even beyond the plants, I was trying to go for a lot of more neutral fall-like colors with the furniture just to really go with that fall-like effect, and I really like how this house turned out. I just had so much fun working on it, but we're done with the outside of the house and we're moving on to the interior right now, starting with the foyer, of course. So in this level, we've got a living room to the right here, and then to the left of the foyer is sort of this study slash activity area. I wasn't really sure what to do with it, so it ended up being more so a miscellaneous room. And then behind the living room, we've got the kitchen, and then to the left of the kitchen, we of course have the dining room. And then back behind the kitchen is a sunroom, which I just thought would be a nice space to add on just to have a little bit more room for things. And I also did that because I did want to break up the back of the building a little bit because I don't really like it when you just have an a fairly long uninterrupted surface. So I like to make additions like that here and there sometimes to break that up a little bit. But it was a little bit tricky trying to figure out what to do with the landing area of the staircase. So I just decided to put a wall right there just to make things a little better lit. And then apart from that, there's not really much in the foyer because there wasn't really a ton of space for things there. And this house does look pretty large from the outside, but on the inside, it's not really quite as big as you would think it'd be looking at it from the outside. The rooms are actually pretty small because this one is 4 by, I think, 5 tiles, and then the kitchen is 4 by, I think that's 4 by 5 as well, maybe 4 by 6. Yeah, I think it's 4 by 6, and then the dining room is about the same size as the living room, and then that bonus room is 4 by 4 tiles, so it actually ended up being a much more cramped space than I thought it was going to be, and I didn't realize that until, as I discussed earlier, I went to go put the staircase in and was like, wait, there's only 3 tiles behind this, and I definitely need more to work with than that. And the bedrooms upstairs are a fairly decent size. They're about the same size as the living room, about 4 by 5 tiles. One of them, I think, is a little bit smaller than that, but for kids' bedrooms, those are definitely good sizes for a room. But in here, I was just adding some more fall decorations, and then I swapped out that couch because I wasn't really feeling that cats and dog one, and I really like that couch. I really wish we had more swatches for it because we only have 3, and it's, I don't know, I just wish we had more because I really like the look of that couch. It's kind of like the standard living room couch, and it would be great if we had a lot more variety to it because the couches that have a lot of swatches are the ones that I just don't really like the look of as much. You know, like we have that plasticky IKEA couch. And if we had the swatches from that couch for this couch, I would be so happy and I would be using this couch all the time. But I have found that it does work pretty well with that armchair from Cats and Dogs, and that yellowish color is slightly different, but it's close enough that it does look like it could be a part of the same set. But over here, we just have some more fall decorations. So we've got those cards, and I actually use those cards that are made with the activity table as well, just to add a little bit more to it. And when I was looking through the debug menu, I did find that really cute garland. So we just got that above the TV, and then I also found some other stuff like that wall decoration. So that is over in the miscellaneous study room. I was trying to not go too over the top with the fall decorations, because in case you do want to use this build just in general, not as a fall home, I wanted to make it fairly easy to just remove all that stuff and kind of play the house as normal. But we're on to the kitchen, and the layout of this kitchen isn't really the best. It was kind of a weird space to figure out because it was very broken apart due to all the doors, because like, as you can see, we have several arches off of it, and then we have a couple doors going outside or to different areas off of it. So that did make it so the counters were very broken up, and I was trying my best to give it a layout that flowed fairly well, and I feel like I kind of did, but some stuff like the sink is in sort of an odd spot, like it's just kind of on the edge of the counter, which I normally don't like to do. Like for some reason, it just kind of bugs me to have the sink on the edge like that. I feel like it looks best when you have a counter on either side, but I had to do what I had to do with the space, and I wanted the sink to be on that outer wall there because that made a little bit more sense to me, because typically you have sinks on the outer wall of the house with a window over it so you can look outside as you're doing the dishes. So it felt better there than it did over where the stove is. And I did end up adding a window above it a little later on, just so, yeah, I think I do that here because I just wanted something in that space. And I felt like that did work because the sunroom was intended to be an addition, so, you know, that window was already there. And then rather than getting rid of it, they just, you know, left it there. So rather than looking outside, the window just looks into the sunroom. I mean, that is a thing that I've seen commonly done when additions like that are made onto a house. But here we're just adding some final touches to the kitchen. We've just got that broom over there. I always like using that as in kitchens, you know, kind of like it's the broom you have off to the side to just sweep up things real quick. So we're on to the dining room now, and I put this it's like kind of a goldish wallpaper. Yeah, I guess I would say this is gold, and I saw that, and I just thought that definitely feels like a very warm fall-like color, and I was trying to not go too fall-like with, you know, while I was trying to use a lot of neutrals, I was trying to not go too, like, over-the-top fall-like as far as, like, the things that are part of the house rather than just decorations, but I just thought this looked so nice in here that I just had to use it. We just got more leaves and some candles on the table there, and we've got the hutch and a mirror over here, and I just threw this chair in. I really like how that reddish color looks with the room. And I also remembered to put that high chair over there in the corner because there is a toddler bedroom in the house, so I did, of course, have to make sure that I added all the things in here that toddlers need, because I have done that before where I've just completely forgotten, like, porta potties and high chairs and all that stuff, but I think I remember pretty much everything you need in this house. And then there is also some pet stuff, because I was imagining this family maybe had a cat or a dog, and oh, that does remind me, I forgot to put in a litter box. I thought I was doing so well with remembering everything for The Sims I was envisioning living in this house, but no, I forgot a litter box. So I don't know where you would fit that in. Maybe the upstairs bathroom or just in the landing area upstairs. I mean, I think there is plenty of space in this house where you could add that in, or maybe I'll just do that before I upload it just so you don't have to worry about that. Yeah, I mean, since I'm remembering that now, I might as well do that before I even put the house on the gallery. But we're on to the miscellaneous study kind of a room. It's definitely sort of an odd room that doesn't really have a lot of structure to it, or it doesn't really have like a cohesive feel to it, because you got the more grown-up looking desk and bookshelf, and then you got some various kid stuff around it, like we got the activity table in there, because, you know, they have to have an activity table somewhere to have made all those lovely crafts. And then I just stuck one of those giant teddy bears, and then there are some blocks down here for the toddler and that little bear doctor play thing. So the way I saw it, they just brought their toys down here and we're just using them. And then just kind of got strewn about because it does happen sometimes where toys aren't put away neatly. But that's it for that room. So we are on to this sunroom area out here. So, I just of course gave it more of an indoor-outdoor feel. I just used the couches here that came with Seasons and then that coffee table that came with Island Living, which does look really nice. Like just the wicker stuff in general works really well for these like indoor outdoor type areas. And we also got a ceiling or a ceiling fan up there and a skylight. It's been a while since I've used a skylight, so it was really nice or the glass roofs I should say, so it was really nice to do that again. I definitely have to get a little bit more creative with the use of that. But yeah, if any of you have any build suggestions that aren't even specifically Halloween related, just let me know because as I kind of talked about in other videos, I am going to have a bit more time for YouTube this month, and hopefully it's just this month because as I did mention, I did get laid off from my job unfortunately, so while I'm applying for jobs and trying to get a new one secured, I do have more time to work on YouTube. So I definitely want to make some more speed builds and just upload more frequently. So, I mean, while getting laid off sucks, this definitely is a good, kind of the good part of it. I'm trying to see the positive in the situation, but I really am hoping it's not going to take me too long to find something else, because I have had a phone interview already and I think it went pretty well. I kind of messed up the technical part of the interview because I am trying to get a job as a mechanical engineer, and I unfortunately didn't use equations that much in my previous job. A lot of it was usually just kind of intuitively figuring out what size you should make things. Like I didn't really use equations. I was just kind of like, oh, this feels about right, which, I mean, once you get the hang of things, like you can do that and it's fine, but that doesn't always cut it for every kind of a job. So because of that, I got super rusty on the equations and they asked me a whole bunch during a phone interview, which I thought wasn't going to happen because those are usually just quick screening things. And I just screwed up. I forgot basic things and it was a little bit embarrassing, but I guess I did well enough aside from that they wanted to bring me in for an in-person interview. So I definitely have to brush up on my equations and the technical stuff so I don't screw up the in-person one as well, because that'll definitely ruin my shots of getting this job. So I'm a little bit nervous about that, but I've got a pretty good feeling about this, and the job, like the company does really interesting work, so I'm hoping I can wow them in the in-person interview and get an offer, because if that happens, then I won't have too long of a period of unemployment. But if it doesn't work out, then I don't know when I'm going to get a job. And that's kind of like the most nerve-wracking part of it, is just not knowing there's other parts of it that are nerve-wracking, but that's one of the most nerve-wracking because, before when I thought about my life, I thought a few months ahead, I figured I was going to be going into this job that I had, like that's what I was going to be doing. But then when that gets taken away from you, you don't know what your life is going to look like in a few months, and it's kind of exhilarating and thrilling in a way, but also very nerve-wracking, and I just hope it turns out for the best and everything works out. It did take me almost a year, or actually it took me over a year after graduating from college to get the job that I just lost, so I'm kind of nervous that that's going to happen again, but I'm also not at the same point I was back then. I've grown a lot in the past 4 years. I've learned a lot. I'm also not someone fresh out of college with just internship experience. I have actual professional experience. So I don't think that whole situation is going to repeat itself. And also I got out of that situation. I eventually found something. So I know there's an end to this. So that's just kind of where I'm at right now. And if any of you watching this are going through something similar, then I hope something turns up for you soon and that everything goes well, because I know it's really, really nerve-wracking. But anyway, we are finished with the whole first level of this build, so I'm on to the upper level where the kind of the main bathroom and all the bedrooms are. And I did also turn that small 2x1 tile area into a laundry room because I was putting hampers around the house. I also had that clothes drying line outside, so I had to remember to fit that in. And that was originally where I was going to stick the shower tub combo in this bathroom, but I figured that would work a little bit better as just kind of a small laundry room. And I was still able to fit everything I wanted to fit into this area perfectly fine, because this is, while it's a narrow bathroom, it is still a fairly long one. And I just kind of used the same flooring and tile that we used downstairs in here. And I really like this combination of items because, we just got Realm of Magic, so I haven't really tried that. Or did I use that in the Realm of Magic house? I don't know if I used that tile with that wallpaper in that house or not. I honestly don't really remember. Maybe I did, but either way, I think it works pretty well together. But currently we're on to the teen bedroom, and I guess what I was going for with this room was something like a room for someone who is maybe into music, because I did stick a guitar in here and a few music related posters and items, and then also someone who is maybe a little bit nerdy and into science, because I did put that robot project on the nightstand, and then I also stuck a few robot related projects on the bookshelf in the living room, because I was kind of thinking, maybe those were previous robot projects that the sim who has this room made, and they just ended up downstairs on that shelf. We also have that lava lamp there on the end table, which I do really like using in teen rooms. Like, that just feels like something that's kind of teen room-like to me. And then I also threw a bowling trophy on the dresser. I don't know why I did that. I just kind of saw that and I was like, this seems like something kind of cool, like something to add a little bit more detail to the sim. They're into robots and music and maybe a little bit of bowling. They're a little bit competitive with that as well. So I just really like adding those things to add a little bit of variety and detail to the sim who could potentially be using this room. But that is about it for this bedroom. So we're on to the child bedroom now, and I really like how that purple color on the curtain looks with the wallpaper. I know it's not really a perfect match to the purple that's on the wall, but that's why I kind of like it. Like, I like using combinations that look like they go together, but not in a way that's perfect, because, usually when you furnish your house in real life, things don't match exactly. They kind of go together, but because you're getting things from different sources, there is some variation, and you can kind of make those different things work together in a way that like feels cohesive and like it goes together, if I'm making any sense here. And that's something I've been trying to be a bit better about bringing into my builds, because in the past I definitely went very, had things look very matchy, like everything all looked like it was the same set. But it does look very nice when you get things that look not matching but kind of matching and cohesive at the same time. But we're almost done with the kids' room. I'm just adding the last details to it. We got the rug there. We got some toys and just adding this little robot toy here to put next to that stuffed dog and the dollhouse. And now I'm just finishing it up by adding some posters. So I imagine this kid is being kind of into Void Critters a little bit, because we do have those 2 Void Critter posters. And then we've got a mixture of like posters that are things I imagine they're interested in. And then the paintings that are a little bit nicer that I imagine are things that their parents picked out for them. Like, the way I see it is that was maybe part of a set of pictures that their parents bought for them when they were a little bit younger, and they kind of kept that. And then as they got older, they added in things that went with their interests a little bit more. But we're all done with that room, so we are now on to the toddler bedroom, which is the last room of this house. So we've got sort of this, I don't know what color scheme this is. I mean, I guess it's kind of like a greenish, blue, orangey, just a mixture of different colors, but I really liked how it all came together in here. And I was working on this room towards the end, so I wasn't quite as detailed with it as I was with some of the other rooms, because I actually built this whole house in one day, which I normally don't do, but I just got on such a roll with this build that I just kept going, and I furnished it in not quite one sitting. I took some breaks here and there, but I just got on a roll and just kept going with it and finished it all in one day, which I was not expecting, but I was definitely losing steam towards the end, so I just wasn't quite as detailed with this room. But that is it for that room. So the last part of it that I'm furnishing is this deck area out here that's off of the teen bedroom. I didn't really add too much to it. I didn't really feel like there was a need to make it super detailed. We just got some folding chairs there. But we're almost at the end of the building part of the video, so as usual, if you want to download this, there will be a link to do so in the description. There will be other stuff in there, how to find it in-game, and that's going to be all from me, so hope you enjoyed the rest of the video.
Something's wrong, I waited up, wounds on my feet. Where will you be? Flickering through memories, the Polaroids yellowed in the sun, longing to be seen. stars are bright, they call you up just to hear your voice on the machine. Nothing will be like it was, but you will always be my first choice, just as it seems. So I left though I was broken. I walked these dirty streets for years. I left it all to see you, to wipe my holy tears. Will you hide with me, hide with me, hide with me? Come and hide with me, hide with me, hide with me. The sun is up, the clouds are gone, but I'm still here with wounds on my feet. Where will you be? If I